So we're going to start our demo today. I'm going to show you guys, we're going to do a little bit of painting. So the first thing you want to do is double check and make sure that you've gone over all of your outlines with Sharpie and then taken your eraser and erased any extra pencil lines because once you do watercolor, they're not going to show. Now you might be asking yourself, Miss I, why are we just painting the background and not the face? Well, I'll tell you, my friends, you worked so hard on all of those beautiful, interesting lines. I know that you want to emphasize them. And the way we're going to emphasize those beautiful lines is by leaving the best contrast, which is black and white. So people will really be able to see those lines. But you can paint some small details in the face if you want to. It's your art piece. All right, so we're going to take our cup of water halfway full. You want to make sure that your water is very far away from your computer at all times. You want to make sure that your table is protected with some scrap paper or something under it if possible. You want to take just a little drip of water and put it in each of your little watercolor cups to get them softened up. If you don't have watercolor, that's okay. You can use marker painting, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But if you don't have either of those, then you could use crayon or whatever else you have to add some color to your background. Alrighty, so when we were painting our background, we want to use nice blended colors. So we're not going to have any, like a whole lot of lines or details that are going to distract from the beautiful details we did in the face. So to make our colors blended, we want to use a really wet brush. So we dip our brush in the water, wipe it a little bit on the edge to get the extra water off. We don't want to have puddles inside our watercolor containers. Then we're going to choose colors to reflect your personality, whatever those are. Going to paint your background. Now, when you're close to the edges of your object, you want to do what's called pulling a line. So I'll take my brush and I'll drag it along the edge. And I can do this with paint on my brush, or I can do it with just water. Let me show you what you can do with just water. So if you very carefully drag your brush along the edge and get the water just in the area of the background, be very careful at your edges. Then what you can do is you can do a kind of color mixing. You can kind of drip the colors in and they'll mix together and spread through the paper. It's kind of neat. And they'll create kind of surprising effects too, which is fun. So they'll spread all the way up to the edges on their own. You can see it better with the dark colors. And if you make a little mistake, it's good to have a little napkin handy. You just kind of dab at it, or if you put on too much color, you can dab at it a little bit so it doesn't start to run, because if you put too much color on it, it will bleed. Now, another thing that you can do, like I said, is marker painting. So marker painting is pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. You just kind of scribble scrabble a little bit of your colors on there. Light colors can work really well. A light background can be nice. Here I go, scribble scrabble on some of my colors. And then you're going to take your brush and you're going to wet the paper wherever you want the marker to spread. So again, I'm going to go very carefully and use the tip of my brush to only get the water in the areas where I want the marker to spread. And I want to cover that whole area, leave no white spaces. Now that's not spreading right now, but it will spread in about the next half hour until it's all nice and blended. And the more water you have, the more it will blend. And if it doesn't blend enough for you, you can always come back and add some more water on top, which is not really something you can do with the watercolor. So that's kind of fun. All right, so you want to paint your background. If you see that the water starts to bleed past where you want it to go, probably your paper is just a little bit too wet. My paper's a little bit wet here, so it's bleeding through. All right, so I would paint the rest of this background. I might even try like a dabbing technique. That's kind of fun. So I can take my color and I can go dab, 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 and that can blend it. Or if I have objects, I can paint those objects different colors. I could paint details, whatever I want to do. Dabbing can be pretty nice. Stripes, whatever you want to do with your background, whatever kind of pattern you want to do, it's up to you. You're reflecting your personality. Now I'm going to paint my symbol, and I'm not going to cut out my symbol until it's painted and dried. That makes it a lot easier for me because then I don't have to worry so much about painting inside the lines. I can just kind of, and I can worry about this line. This is going to show. And I'm doing, again, pulling the line. Oh, whoopsie. So you see how I'm dragging the brush along the edge? I'm dragging it like it's a tow truck. But then I don't have to worry as much around the outside line because I'm not going to cut it out. And I can mix colors, give it a little more variety, make it look nice and smooth, make my costume look good. But I don't keep you guys all day because I know you want to get to painting yourselves. So get to it. Don't forget, if you finish up, you can paint some little details inside the face too.